Hello and thank you for watching The Health Fairy. This is Rebecca Karchere, and I want to share with you a couple of insights that we can call Rebecca's ranting. I spoke about this on Exploring Energy in Everyday Life, talking about the spiritual side of symptoms. And so I want to share with you a little bit more and expand on that just briefly. So if you notice, I have a little fever sore, I guess, Epstein-Barr virus that I was born with showing up. And so I want to talk about that. So when I tuned into that, because, you could start, what I don't want to convey is that I never have anything wrong with me, quote unquote. Obviously there's nothing wrong with me, but you understand, don't put me on a pedestal. I'm human. Okay. So this popped out, and, I want to share with you my insight is that on an unconscious level, what it was bringing up was the fact that I was feeling all this pressure, emotional pressure, because I have a birthday coming up. My father's coming into town, and that's like the pressure, and it's really nondescript, and I really couldn't articulate why, But then I tuned into the fact that when I was coming out, when I was being born, this is all, on a set. We all have cellular memory, and we all have, everything is recorded in the subconscious. So even though it doesn't seem relevant now, my body still remembers the pressure when I was coming out of the birth canal. My mom's, the saying, the water, when the water breaks, that's just, non-medical explanation. But she needed, the sac did not break. So she had to have it medically, popped so I could come out. Well, that's the literal physical pressure. And then on top of it, the psychological pressure of I came out 2 weeks late. And so a lot of pressure to show up for my family. I'm the first, child and grandchild, and all that stuff is playing in the background. So hence the little virus. So that being said, I'm giving you a personal story because for a lot of different reasons, it's not, I like to look at the whole picture when we have symptoms and diseases, because it's not just an enemy that we need to medicate or cut out. It's actually there to allow us to reconcile something from the past or reconcile a trauma, and to get back into alignment, get back to our truth and our power and peace. So that's the little story. Now, what can I do? I could maybe do the emotional freedom technique and work through it. I just put some DMSO on it, and I'm like, now once I connected the dots, it subsided, and I can move on. I felt kind of liberated just making the connection. And so, that's what I do, right? So I do this for people too. Like, what's really behind that? So let me give you a story about a funny story about how symptoms actually can be used, I'll say inappropriately, but in a way that, well, you'll see. You make your own judgments. But a funny story is my mother was laying in her bed. This was many, many years ago. And she's laying in her bed. She has her knee propped up, and she said her knee hurts. So I looked at her, and I'm like, I just call bullshit on the whole thing. And I tuned in, and I'm like, tuned into the knee, and, muscle testing and whatnot. And I'm like, you do not want to say no and to my dad, and you don't want to clean the house. So this, in order to avoid feeling guilty, that's why you created this knee pain, so you can sit up and not, and have a good excuse. Well, she starts cracking up because she knows I'm right. And that's just a great example of how symptoms are actually, they serve us to avoid something else, as a for instance. Or, there's a lot of ways that we can interpret that. I just want to give you the short version, or just help you to think outside the box. I had a patient recently over the phone. We did a session, and she's telling me that she's going in for hip replacement surgery. So I'm like, let me just tune in to what is that? What's the emotion around that? Well, the hips and pelvis area have to do with support. So when I tuned into the area that she was about to have the surgery on, I'm like, I got this feeling that she didn't feel supported by men. And as soon as I said that, she starts, oh yeah, and then and this and oh my whole life and they're this and they're that, and I'm like, okay, well there you go, there you have it. So that here we are needing hip replacement surgery. Okay. And then she goes on, and we break it down even more, or the story gets better, because she's saying now that she's going to have this procedure, she's not going to be able to work. She'll have to have this vacation, and she's got a great excuse why she can't come into work. And again, her boss is a male, and there's this same energy there where this is a good excuse for her, whereas otherwise she may not have a vacation that that she needs. And so I just want to share that story on exploring energy in everyday life. I'm also talking about that this week if you want to watch that episode. We expanding on that. But so we have the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. Now this is all happening, like with the fever sore, for instance. I was conscious that I had the fever sore, right? And then I had to go into the subconscious to get all that other data, and then I felt some relief and some resolution around that. And that's what I would like for you to start to approach your body and your symptoms in this way, because they're there. These symptoms are there to get your attention and to get you back into alignment and get you back into truth, peace, and power. And they are not an enemy that needs to be shut up or cut out with medication or whatever. They're there to get your attention. It's like a little guidance system that is helping you to get back on course. So, and so that being said, I'll end with that. And I'd love for, send me your stories, send me your comments. This is the kind of work that I do day in and day out. It's a lot of fun. And it's all happening in the subconscious, which is, I say we're going down the rabbit hole. So if you want to go down the rabbit hole for yourself and would like an appointment, that would be a lot of fun. If you are interested in being your own practitioner like myself, I'm teaching courses in how to do that to become certified. And so, check out my website and or make an appointment. But I find this very intriguing and entertaining, so I hope you do too. Have a great day.